back structure. This is the one vertebra. Okay, cross-sectional top view. It's irregular bone. What is this shape? Irregular. It's got 3 spikes, which is called processes. 3 processes. To describe which one, now it's easy. These 2 are lateral ones. This one is at the center, right? So it's a median one. The median one. Okay? And to describe this tip, this is the back. The median process here. To describe this tip, this end, it is the posterior end. Posterior. So this is how we use this one. So if you read the literature in rehabilitation, in medical science, in physical therapy, and also in ergonomics, this is the way we describe this. Try to use them as accurately as possible. Okay, you cannot just describe, oh, because we bend the hand, and so the keyboard was bad. I mean, what kind of bending? What kind of? You have to describe it more accurately. Okay. Three processes here. Obviously, this is to protect something here. Okay, right? This is the posterior side of the human body. Here, this one. If you look from the side, it's this place. So there are a lot of processes to protect you, because here there's a big canal, big tunnel. It allows the spinal cord to go through from the brain, the spinal cord. And from the spinal cord, there are branched nerves. Okay? Okay. And basically there are 5 sections in our spine. This is called spine. And each of this bone is called vertebra. Okay? And between any 2 vertebra, there is a disc. A disc. This is a disc. Okay, and this is one vertebra. This is the next vertebra. Okay, and the spinal cord goes through it, the tunnel. Okay. Now, so the top section is the cervical vertebrae, cervical area, the neck area. It has 7 bones. 7 bones like this. And then it is the thoracic. Thoracic is where your lung, okay, upper trunk is, which has 12 vertebrae, T1 to T12. Okay, and then the third section is the lumbar area, which has 5 bones here. And then The final part is sacrum. Sacrum. Or sacral vertebrae. It seems to have 5, but actually it's already merged. Okay? And there's no movement at all. No space at all. There's no, the joint is already disappeared. And finally there's a coccygeal vertebra. Okay? And the thoracic is actually quite immovable. The most movable joint is the neck here, between cervical and thoracic. So C7 T1 joint. C7 T1 joint. That's the joint between C7 bone and T1 bone. Clinically, there are a lot of problems here because of movement. Actually, the most movable is here. Sorry, here. Here. This one is not movable. Here. The lumbar area has a lot of movement. Okay. L5 S1 is the joint. Also L4 L5. Clinically, L4 L5 and L5 S1. So L5 S1. Okay, are the two most commonly seen injured part. L4 L5 joint and L5 S1. Okay. And if you look at this, any of the two vertebra, we know this is a joint, right? And there's a disc. This is a joint, and there's a disc. This is called, you can call it intervertebral disc. Intervertebral disc. Okay. The disc is the disc tissue is a tough fibrous ring, okay, resembling a sac, and it's filled with some fluid, viscous fluid, a gel-like kind of substance, okay, and it acts as sharp absorbers, okay, between the two vertebrae, okay, and it also provides some space here. So it provides flexibility, okay, for movement. However, it is also quite fragile, especially in the lumbar region. And L5 S1, okay, is a major concern, okay, in biomechanics. Consider this. Okay, look at this. Are we looking at this part from the, yeah, we are looking at this part from the side, right? This is a side view. Which side? Put it this way. Where is this guy facing? To the right or to the left? This, huh? You should be able to easily identify this because of these processes. So this is the posterior side. So this guy is facing. Okay, let me draw it like that. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Now, this skeleton is immovable, but I can. So I bend down. What's going to happen here? You bend. You bend. What's going to change? Actually, there will be some change. Very, very small. But we're talking about over the years and years. If you are doing this, if you are sitting in this posture, lumped like me, I always sit this way. You are actually bending. You're actually flexing. Or you have to carry, you have to lift something as a job. What's going to happen? See, make a curvature. Think about it. The curve becomes, it was like this, right? Pretty straight. But after bending, what's happening? Becomes this. Right? So let's redraw it in a more exaggerated way. It becomes this. The three processes: nerve, the disc. So what happened? It looks to me that at this anterior side it's getting closer, and this side is getting like that, right? So the pressure here, the disc is getting more compression, right? More higher pressure, right? That's what happened. You are sitting down like this. You feel good. That's what everybody's always doing. You are giving your disc additional pressure in the front. Okay. Eventually, there will be a tendency for the disc to go like this. Look at here. My drawing is not good, so it's not wrong. It's a little bit wrong. But you have to look at here. Originally, this disc is not in contact with this spinal cord. This is nerve. But when this disc, here you get higher pressure, here you get lower pressure. Because of this compression, the disc goes and eventually hit the spinal cord. And that's where the problem begins. Okay? And there's a special term in medicine: herniation. Herniation refers to a case that the disc actually displaced and then hitting the spine, the spinal cord. Okay? And depending on which disc, because the nerve goes from different section. Sometimes you feel numb at different body parts, so the doctor can diagnose. And when they take the X-ray, they can identify it. And if it's kind of permanent, that means it does not go back. Usually it will come back. Temporarily, you're lifting something very heavy, you're being shocked, the whole body, and with this posture, and that will move. But it's okay. When you stand erect, it's okay. It returns. But if it's permanent, then you got a herniated disc. You got a herniation problem. So eventually you have to go through some operation to remove something here so that they are not in contact. Okay? So based on this kind of theory, we know we have to maintain a good posture, just like what happened at the wrist. The keyboard, the mouse have to be designed properly because the users, the customers, they don't know about this. Okay? So actually the keyboard, IBM patentized their keyboard in the 1980s. But they got sued. And they also pay for it. Okay, that's what happened in the early 1990s. The IBM famous keyboard, everybody now, it's already past the patent duration, protection duration, so now everybody has the keyboard, can use the keyboard. The keyboard becomes so cheap now. But some of the ergonomic keyboard is still under patent. But not the straight keyboard is no patent at all now. And during the late 1890s, a lot of typewriters got problems at their wrist. It's called carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay, even today, it's still continued. We'll talk about it later. And at the spine area, because of heavy lifting, okay, in the factories, because of sitting for too long, a lot of drivers subject to vibration. So, and sitting like that, driving like that, lumping posture without noticing this is bad. And a lot of top managers, they're always sitting. They don't have time to stand. So years after years, after 20 years later, they develop problem here. My personal experience, I also developed, as you can see, my posture was pretty bad. I have some bad posture here, I know. So years over years, I developed some problems here. It's very difficult to recover. I cannot stand for more than 3 minutes. Okay? Very strange, right? And I went to see different doctors. Okay. And eventually, I get rid of any chairs like this. Okay. But these chairs do have lumbar support, as you can see. There are some curvature, trying to hold it like for you. But it's no good, actually. On the one hand, it's good. It's trying to maintain that posture, that curvature for you. But if you rely on that, what does that mean? Years after years, your muscles, you're right. I think I lost a lot of muscle strength here. And the doctor cannot help me because looking at the detailed structure here, he said, you are fine. You're fine. And since I have ergonomics knowledge, and I use ergonomic chair for, at that time, about 8 to 10 years. And all of a sudden, I said, oh, actually, this ergonomic chair is not helping me. The ergonomic chair is supposed to help you to maintain this posture. But since you are not maintaining this posture by yourself, see, maintaining a straight, erect posture, your muscle have to work. right? But as a human nature, you don't like to work. You always do this. And with that ergonomic chair, you relax more. So years after years, my muscles already lost the strength. You know how I recover? It's rehab by myself. I get rid of my ergonomic chair, which is very expensive chair. You know this kind of chair? Oh. Today, this, copycats are everywhere, but the original one, there is some famous brand, Italians, also US brands, ergonomic chair. There's some famous one. These are all ergonomic chair. They claim they have a very good lumbar support. So I bought one for myself. Very expensive. Today is cheaper, but if you buy the brand name one, it's very expensive. There's a couple of famous names. The 20 best office chair, ergonomic office chair. These are very expensive chair. This is still not the most famous one. Okay. And it cost me, the price is, today you can still find, there are several very famous one, made by Italian. It's an Italian brand, or there are also some US brand. Okay. The at least 30,000 NT. 30,000. So I get rid of it, put it aside, and then I began to sit on this kind of, stool. That's what I did. I started to sit with no back support, and then forcing myself with using my own muscles. About 6 months to 1 year, I feel incredibly improved. And I don't need a painkiller, any medicine. Because my muscles, because I use them. Okay? So today, indeed, now these are becoming so popular. If you go to Silicon Valleys in the US, these companies are very strange. They don't give you chairs. In the office, these are the office equipment. They ask you to stand. It becomes so popular. Actually, standing, if you measure the pressure here, standing is lower. The pressure here is lower than sitting. There are a couple of famous ergonomic studies. Sitting has higher pressure here because as soon as you sit, you change this posture here. So this is why this is becoming popular. Okay? But there's also something critical, because using your muscle will make your muscles tired. How long can we use the muscles? How long does it get tired? That's a good question in ergonomics. When you get tired, your body knows. That's what actually happened during your sleep. You sleep like this. After about 20, 30 minutes, you sleep like this. You change. You turn. And then after 20, 30 minutes, every night, somebody did studies, every night you turn. Many, many times. Why do you turn? If that posture is such a good posture, because your body knows about it. The muscles are still working for you. So when they get tired, you have to switch to other muscles. So change your posture is very critical. If you maintain a good posture for 8 hours, fixed, it's no good, right? They get tired already. It's another kind of problem. So you have to constantly change using different muscles, using different joints to reduce the load. So these working desks, now they have very easy to move ability. Okay, let me see. This one is supposed to be very easy to move. It's got this, yeah. Okay, they even have mobile app to warn you. You are not moving your desk. You're not changing your desk height for more than 30 minutes. You need to change it. So even if you configure one of the so-called optimal chair, optimal desk, optimal posture, you cannot fix at that posture too long. Okay? Changing your posture is very important. Okay, the hand structure, the final slide. Okay. Hand, we know that the wrist abduction, adduction, flexion, extension are bad. But why? So let's look at the structure. Basically, there is a theory. If you type This is actually a name for this disease. It's carpal tunnel syndrome. Many people got it. And it does not make you dead like a coronavirus. But it makes you really uncomfortable. If it's called syndrome, usually it doesn't have a, it has a many different description about how bad they are. Some people say, it's like, okay, numb. If I move, it hurts. But if I don't move, it doesn't hurt. And numb. Okay, and my hand feel just seems to lose some kind of grasp force. Or if I hold something ice cold, I feel like being bitten, being something is biting me. There's all kinds of weird description. That's syndrome. And it says, this is Mayo Clinic, okay? One of the famous Mayo Clinic, one of the famous hospital in the United States. Carpal tunnel syndrome. Carpal tunnel syndrome is caused by pressure on the median nerve. Where is median nerve? Here. This is quite a big nerve. And what does it do? It's a major sensory nerve for a lot of fingers. Okay? And it's located here. And this is called carpal tunnel. Carpal tunnel. It's actually got a lot of tendons here. They are flexor tendons. And these tendons, tendon is, we haven't got to the muscle part. If this is a muscle, it has two ends. At the end, it will be attached to a bone. The part that's close, very near the bone is tendon. So there will be tendon here, there will be tendon here. Muscle is in between. So the tendons, the muscles at the arm, okay, were all connected to the finger bones. That is why we can move our fingers. When you move your finger, these muscles at the arm, at the forearm, actually are working for them. So when they work, okay, the tendons go through that tunnel. And as you can see, there are a lot of tendons. It's crowded here. They are making friction each other. So when you are typing like that, very quickly, those tendons are actually moving very quickly. Now, the hypothesis is this. The friction causing the pressure to the median nerve. Furthermore, if your wrist is, it's even worse, right? Why? Think about this. Water in your pipe, if it's straight, it's good, right? Very smooth. The water is coming out of the water pipe. If you bend it, you have to increase the pressure. Otherwise, it's not coming smoothly, right? If you bend the water pipe, similarly, the nerve, the tendons are being flexed like this or abducted like that. And that tunnel is crowded. It's like a pipe. So if you bend it, you are increasing that pressure. You're increasing that pressure. So the higher the pressure, eventually, day by day, we are not talking about 1 day, 1 month, 3 months. No, we are talking about several years, working at a wrong posture, using a wrong mouse, using a wrong keyboard. Okay, a lot of people, they don't know about it. They use their mouse this way. They think they put the mouse lower on the drawer, lower, so it saves space for their desk. They put a keyboard lower, and you can hide it. They save the space. But if you do that, you're bending it. So years later on, you develop carpal tunnel syndrome. Okay, that is the basis for those ergonomic keyboard. They are being developed. See this? I use this one. Once I already use several different versions over the years. As soon as I try it, I never go back to traditional keyboard anymore. I have to use this kind of split. This is Microsoft keyboard. Okay. And as you can see, the slope is also a bit different, the slope. And it's got a good wrist support. Today, the notebook, the design also changed. If you look at the earlier notebook, it's very interesting. See, in the old days, this is a keyboard design. Look at that. The keyboard is at the bottom, leaving the space up here. So you put when you are typing, your wrist actually cuts through this, cuts through the edge of the keyboard. And then later on, they discovered this. So they moved the entire keyboard up, leaving the space down. So today, so if you look at the earlier keyboard, it's always like that, right? The keyboard space is up there, and there's no use here. And then later on, they change. This is a good one. So you can have your wrist, your palm rest here, and then move the keyboard up. That's a good design. Okay, like this. Today you have the keyboard like this. You have a very, very big palm and wrist space for you to place the wrist and palm on this. Okay, so it would not cut. Okay, the edge would not cut your wrist, increasing that pressure, right? These are all examples. Okay, so we finish this chapter. Okay.